Hey, Instagram, good to see y'all again. Episode 2, y'all liked us so much last week, we've decided we're going to bring it back. Welcome to On the Ring Apron. I'm Steve.
And I'm Kia.
And I'm glad you guys, you can't imagine the great following we've gotten since we brought this out. You know, this was something that was kind of in the mix, and we were really hoping that, it was going to be something that would be followed, but just the amazing outpouring of people who have supported us in this endeavor is just it's just insane. So, we very much appreciate it. The fans who come in, watch us. Hello, Monica. We see you down
Hi.
there. Getting a chance to support us in something that we genuinely love to do. It's an amazing. Thank you all so much, and just understand this is just the beginning.
Look at the shirts. That's how much we love them.
Yes, sir. It ain't the KO show. It ain't making that kind of money, but we're getting there. The SN show, the SK show, whatever you want to call it. But we'll get there. But anyway, a lot's changed since we joined you guys last week. When we were talking last week, and I mentioned several times on the show, I'm like, hey, Mania's still a go in Tampa, and and we're excited, and we're going to be there, and everything else. And then it seems like almost the moment we went off the air, they made the announcement that Mania's not happening in Tampa. They're going to do it in front of an empty arena at the Performance Center.
Now, who pulled the plug? Do we remember? Was it the city or was it Vince?
I don't know. It's behind closed doors. I've got to imagine it was Vince, but I think a lot of folks knew it was going to happen at some point. Hey there.
Hi.
A lot of people thought that, it was going to happen at some point. It was just a matter of which side was going to pull the plug. I don't really know which one did per se, but based on everything with this COVID-19, it's just spreading like crazy. We're fortunate. We've been following the quarantine protocol to the best of our ability, and keeping ourselves safe, and we want everybody else doing the same. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves.
Exactly.
So we can end this and everybody can get back to being live at shows. We miss our cosplaying and everything else. And speaking of cosplaying, hang with us till the end of the video. We've got a lot to talk about, but we also have a little special treat for you guys, and we need your help. So stay with us till the end, and we'll present that. But of course, as we were going into the big story, Wrestlemania now leaving Tampa, going to the Performance Center, going to be performed in front of 0 fans. They're all about breaking attendance records. This one will certainly break a record for an audience, but not the direction I think they wanted to go.
It won't, but let's see what they do with it. I mean, it's been empty arenas for the last, couple of weeks. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. 2
SmackDowns and an NXT, and then the NXT before this one in front of a very small audience that attended at Performance Center. But you look at everything that happened, and under the circumstances with travel bans and everything else, we understood that there couldn't really be that much. Only 3 live matches this entire week, if memory serves me. You had Rey Mysterio and Andrade on Raw. NXT was a very unique show, to say the least. We'll get more to that in a second. And then 2 live matches tonight, including trying to set the tone for a couple of matches to wrap up the week for trying to get Mania set up here. Yeah. But now they're going to be setting up the fact that you're not going to be performing in front of 90,000 fans in Tampa. You're now going to be performing in front of 0, empty audience, very quiet. As a superstar, how do you think that's going to change the mindset of anyone that's wrestling there?
You have to think, people like Rhea, who's been waiting for this moment pretty much since she started, she's still fighting through it, I feel like, but it's going to be kind of disheartening because you expect your first major, huge match to be all these fans in attendance, your followers, the people who love you, the people who support you, the people who've come from NXT with you, your mentors, your family, your friends, whoever. You expect them to be there, and the fact it's going to be an empty arena, I give the superstars, the talent, all the credit in the world for still putting on great shows or trying to put on great shows every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I feel like it could be a little bit disheartening, it could be a little bit upsetting, but they're still going to push forward. That's what I think.
You brought up Rhea Ripley, and she's not the only name that comes to mind. You've got Rhea, you've got the Street Profits, who will be competing in their first Mania. So many people that this is going to be the match that they've dreamed about since joining the wrestling universe, whether it was getting their try at the Performance Center or traveling the indie circuit or however you want to see it, and then to have it just be a situation where now you're not going to have that plethora and that loud roar from the crowd in the Mania moment. Now the Mania moment will be literally you standing in front of a camera. It's got to change your mindset.
But here's how I feel. We're talking about Rhea. How do we feel about Drew McIntyre? You have to think Drew McIntyre has been here. He has, come in. He has he had to leave for a little bit, and then he had to work his way back through NXT. He's come to the main roster. He's done everything that he has been asked. No ifs, no ands, no buts, no questions. He's doing it. And now his big moment that he got at the Rumble, it's pretty much rolling into Mania, and there's not going to be nobody. How do you think he feels?
On one hand, you look at it, it's like it's still WrestleMania. You can't take away the fact that it's going to officially go down as WrestleMania. But at the same time, I got to imagine that it just mentally up here, it can't be the same. Now, I will give the WWE credit. They're doing everything in their power to attempt to try to still sell this as this huge event. Tonight, you saw the first time they used the tagline, "Too big for one night," because they've now moved it to a 2-night event over Saturday the 4th. They're removing out NXT TakeOver Tampa to fit in a second night, and then, of course, the second half of the card being on the 5th. So now you're looking at a split card where you're going to essentially have 2 main event matches. A couple of them on the WWE website, they've already announced who's going to compete at what time. You've got, I know that the Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar match is scheduled to be on the first night. They've put John Cena and Bray Wyatt, I believe, on the second night. Goldberg and Roman Reigns is expected to close the show on the second night as well. So it's giving you a chance for Vince and his crew to still get Drew a main event match while still having Roman be the one to close the show with Goldberg. So I get that they're trying to still sell this, but I think it's a pretty hard sell.
I think so too. You don't have nobody there in the arena. It's closed off. I mean, we get, it's the whole safety issue and protecting the talent and everything else, and they've been putting it into play the moment they heard about it with the gloves and the face mask and the no contact and the no touching. We spoke of it last week. Vince is doing everything to still keep his talent safe. But again, what has Vince done? He has made it to where he is the only person, wrestling entertainment. Everything else is shut down. Him, Triple H, Stephanie, they're not going to back down due to the coronavirus. They're going to make it to where, it's pretty much, and I know this is a sensitive topic, the whole 9/11 thing, that did not scare Vince. He still put on a show saying, I'm coming out, I'm going to have my talent come out, we're going to do this show. I feel this is the same way.
I agree, and we mentioned it last week about how, the WWE has never been one to shy away from any event. Now they're doing it safely, and they're finding ways to be able to continue to make sure that the talent is staying safe, but also at the same time, they're still finding ways to provide entertainment. And we mentioned last week about how this could be a grand opportunity for wrestling unlike anything they've ever had because you now no longer have any direct competition. All sports organizations have been shut down, musical performances. And at this point, it's looking more and more likely that you're going to start seeing, we're starting to see today, cities starting to shut down where, you're seeing, entire states go under at-home lockdown or, something similar to where you're going to end up being in a position to where you're basically going to just be sitting at your house, and they're going to need something to do. So you see the promo tonight, not only promoting WrestleMania for 2 separate nights, but also them showing WrestleMania on ESPN, and of course the rumor going out that ESPN is going to also promote and show WrestleMania 36 in 2 weeks over those 2 nights. I mean, if you can get someone like WrestleMania or ESPN to broadcast WrestleMania, it's a very big deal for the company, and you're going to get a lot of viewers who are going to normally would not be watching that all of a sudden now are.
Exactly. Not only are you going to get viewers for ESPN, but you're going to get viewers for the network, which, by the way, is $9.99, so go ahead and pay for it.
Keep the boss fed.
So, I mean, if that's the case, not only are you getting it for ESPN, you're getting it for the network, too. So you're pretty much doing a 2 for 1.
Right, and a majority of people, us certainly included, we pay our $9.99 every single month, but the reality is 95% of viewers are paying $9.99 a month because you want the pay-per-views.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you right now, me personally, I'm never going back to paying $60, $70 for a pay-per-view, not even WrestleMania.
No, that's just too much.
Not when you've enjoyed that for several years. That's simply not going to happen.
Exactly.
But we bring you guys are here watching us because we're trying to not discuss this topic. Obviously, there's no way to duck a topic of this magnitude. I mean, this country and really the world in general is going through things that is unheard of, but that's not what you're here to listen to. We want to talk wrestling, so let's hop into what happened this week. First, let's start with Monday Night Raw. Due to the travel schedules, a lot of talent unable to make it. They burned an hour just showing the men's Royal Rumble match, showed the dominance of Brock Lesnar through the first half, and then and then also getting an opportunity to give Drew McIntyre his rub by showing his elimination of Brock Lesnar and then winning the match. Only one live match. You got Andrade and Rey Mysterio, who got a match. They've wrestled 1,000 times in the last 6 months. They probably could do a match in their sleep at this point. But you found a way to still get one live match in there. And then of course Edge, his Beth Phoenix going on social media. He drove 17 hours to get to the Performance Center because he said I'd be there, and he held his word. Good man.
But to me, I feel like with him, that is dedication. That shows you how much he loves this business. That him himself, if I can't get on a plane because everything that's going on, I'm going to hop in my car, I'm going to drive 17 hours, and I'm still going to get there, and I'm still going to make my point, and I'm going to be heard. I am a family man, I am a wrestler, and what has happened is now wrestling and family are intertwined, so let's go ahead and let me just handle it. Let me just speak my piece and keep going.
And you could see it underneath his eyes if you go back and look at some of the pictures of Edge from it. I mean, you could see just the rings and bags underneath his eyes. That wasn't from any type of makeup or anything for the show. That is a man who has driven for hours, and having been on the wrong side of a few of those road trips in my lifetime, boy, it'll tear it up on you if you allow it to.
Exactly.
But I thought under the circumstances, Raw did about as good as you could. A very boring, relatively boring show. Unless you just hadn't seen the Royal Rumble match. We were in Houston. We saw it in person.
It was great.
Check out the YouTube channel at The Real Noel 2. To view my entrance videos. I've got all of them, but we'll put a link at the bottom once this gets posted.
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of the talent unable to make it. They did the best they could under the circumstances, but you can tell it's hard to put a 3-hour show together when you've only got maybe, 15 people who could show up?
15, and that's not even just the talent. That's like camera crew, and that's like...
Triple H on commentary.
That's like perfection right there.
Give me a commentary table with just Triple H and Asuka. Just give me them for 3-4 hours. Give me that for all of WrestleMania. I'll pay for that.
Wait. You can't just
say,
hey
there.
Hi. You can't just say Triple H. First of all, Triple H, and then you have my girl Asuka. Do not ever forget The Miz. One of the biggest talkers. If you want someone to entertain besides Triple H and Asuka, Miz.
We wonder why they won a mixed match classic a couple of years ago. Well, now we know why. Two great talkers, but also great talents in the ring.
Hi to the new people joining us.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, we appreciate you being here. It's still, it's amazing to have you guys here. We said it earlier. We're going to keep saying it because it's going to take people like you to make this big. Moving to NXT, I thought this NXT was more unique than anything else we've seen. We're used to seeing what most people would say is the most talent that WWE and the entire brand has to offer.
Thank you.
Because you want to see, the talent out there. Instead, they used NXT as an opportunity to promote their 3 biggest matches that are forthcoming. You've got, of course, the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano storyline, which they gave a full hour of just their entire history together, leading them into their tryout, creating DIY, breaking up, winning the tag titles, losing the tag titles, breaking up DIY, and then their rivalry against each other. Mix in Ciampa's, injuries, his knees, his neck, shoulder, everything. And then, having it all come full circle. And I've said it already, and I'm going to say it here officially. If anybody has the pull to do it, it's Triple H. That match doesn't need to wait for a Tampa. That match needs to be at WrestleMania.
Hey, you will not hear no disagreements from me. I feel like it's started at the Performance Center, like Johnny Gargano said, and it's going to end at the Performance Center. Now, when it first started, it started with a whole slew of people, and, I feel like it's sad to say if that is the case, it's going to be 0 people watching. But again, if you watch it on the network, you can see everything.
That's it. Ciampa and Gargano have yet to put on a bad match. It really doesn't matter who they're against. Against each other, same team, they can't put on a bad match. Like I said, I don't even think that's one that they need to wait for, whenever the next takeover is going to be, or put that on a standard NXT at the Performance Center. That is WrestleMania caliber. They've been building this one big match for a couple of years now. Yes, they've had a few matches, a couple of years ago at some takeovers, but it really hasn't boiled down to this. These two are storylining this to the point to where it's clear they're at each other's throat. It's clear they've had enough of each other. They could build on this, and it's a match that if they put that on the Mania card, it could steal the show.
As watching NXT, there's a lot of people I get behind, but when we started watching, I could not get behind either one. I don't know if it's because they were a group, they were together, I don't know what it was. It's just like the whole John Cena thing, and I couldn't get behind him with the ruthless aggression. But now that they've been playing this out for so long, over so many years, you might as well say from the start of NXT all the way up till now, I have gotten behind both. I got behind Johnny when we went to the first NXT, what was it, Full Sail?
Yeah, the first Full Sail show that we went to right after 33.
That's when I got behind him and I said, he's going to be something huge. Even if he's like short, he's going to be something huge. I love him. Also, Ciampa, I really couldn't get behind him until he came back from his injury.
Well, I worried that with especially more for Gargano than it was for Ciampa, remembering that both of these guys are under 205 pounds, but more Gargano than anything else. I really was worried because I thought Gargano's got to do something big in NXT, because if he doesn't, he's going to get relegated to 205 Live. You're never going to see him. And so I'm glad they turned this into something. But we could spend an hour talking about this, and we're going to have some preview shows for WrestleMania coming up here in a few weeks. So along with our standard shows on Fridays, we're also going to show you guys some previews before Mania. And then we're going to have a post after each night to kind of give our reaction, let you guys chime in, and everything else. For those of you that have just joined us, remember we mentioned earlier that we've got a special little surprise for you guys, the followers who are joining us. So stick around with us all the way to the end, and we'll go over here in a minute for something that you guys help us, and in exchange, we've got a little treat for you guys that we can give back if you guys are willing to help us build our brand here a little bit. Also on NXT, they built up Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, which, of course, right now is the only scheduled match to be on the WrestleMania card.
Yes.
And Rhea continuing to build herself, as you know. When I got here, I was compared to Charlotte, and I was compared to Lana. I'm sorry. Who's comparing you to Lana? Y'all are nothing alike, but I digress. But finally she changed out her entire. Don't you ooh me?
No, I don't know you. If Rusev comes to crush you, I don't know you at all. So anyway, she pretty much, like you were stating, she pretty much has come out and said, I'm not Charlotte, I'm not Lana, I'm not any of the regular blondes, I am me, I'm an Australian, I'm going to do me, I'm going to do my thing. Changing up her whole look, because you remember when she
spike jacket.
You remember when she first got here? She was the girl next door, in my opinion. The Australian girl next door. She comes back, and she is leathered down from her boots, her haircut, her makeup is fierce. She is fierce. That right there, to me, is a woman that can pretty much walk any path alone and make it look good in leather. And
and the thing again to remember, we mentioned this last week again. Rhea's only 23. It's like her career is just beginning, and now she's going to get this this fantastic match that is going to have an opportunity to really put her on the map, not just at a level she's never been at before against the 10-time champion Charlotte. And I said earlier we're going to have plenty of time to preview this one, but this is the one that I can't really put my finger on because I really could see this one going either way. But they did a great job building Rhea. Yeah. I wonder if they'll do the same thing with Charlotte next week.
You don't need to build a queen. Queen built herself. She just needs her peasants.
Yeah, well, we all are the peasants. Peasants, role models, whatever you want to call us. Plenty more on that coming up. Come on, Savannah, that one's for you.
Speak for yourself. I'm not nobody's peasant at all.
No sheep?
No sheep, no peasant, no nothing. I'm my own person.
You know where to find her, Savannah. Come get her. But one other thing to note, and I can't believe NXT did not mention this. Adam Cole, officially today, longest reigning NXT champion of all time. Congratulations, Adam Cole. Baby! She'll never do it. I promise you, I've never once ever had her do it in which I haven't had to either pay her or dare her.
And payment's not enough. So anyway, I'm still not going to do it. Ray Bliss said, I honestly don't see how she is compared to Charlotte. We don't either, but that's what she felt, and that's what came out of her mouth when she was doing her promo and she was doing her video package.
The comparison to Lana's the one that bothers me more. I mean, I don't get it. Lana, I mean,
I can't
come on.
It.
I mean, Step on her neck, Rhea.
Yeah.
So, NXT I thought did a very unique performance. Granted, the only competition they were up against was against that other wrestling company, and they were doing an empty arena show as well. We don't mention they are the promotion ye who shall not be named, but y'all know who we're talking about. But they're they know what they're up against. Everybody who works there, most of them have been part of WWE at some point. They know directly what they're up against. And then you move into SmackDown tonight. A very
going back to the other company. This is me, okay.
We said we wouldn't talk about them, but here we go. We're going to talk about them.
You can't stop me from talking about what I want to talk about. So anyway, the other company.
I don't. The clock does.
The clock don't stop me either. The other company we shall not mention. How are they getting better ratings than NXT? You've got this raw, pure talent.
Because you've actually heard of them, you will hear of the NXT folks. They're just not quite there yet.
I feel like, if you follow NXT, and I know a lot of you do.
Well, they wouldn't be here if they didn't. Come on.
But my thing with that is NXT comes up with everything every week, and it's fresh, and they keep it fresh. AEW, sorry, I mentioned it, can't stop me, has been around for how long?
Not long enough.
Let them get to where NXT is, SmackDown, and Raw, and let's see if they can come up with fresh material.
I just don't see why, as wrestling fans, we can't like both. I see too many of these fights on social media, but we're not starting a Twitter war tonight.
I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm just saying NXT should have the better ratings. There's a difference between having better ratings and...
Argue with the Nielsen folks. I'm not in charge of that.
Trust me, if I could, I would. Let's go. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Again, we move into SmackDown tonight. Again, a lot of folks having an opportunity to, they're continuing this whole quarantine thing. So only a handful of wrestlers show up, but we do get the 2 live matches, and they set up potentially 2 with maybe a third match potentially in the wings. The first thing you get is one that, oh my lord, I've seen so many comments about. They finally decided what they're going to do with the third of the 4 women's title, and that is, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Of course, Bayley and Sasha have been on social media talking about how they're going to take a vacation, how they don't need to be there. They've dominated everyone, and they finally get the storyline of, they're going to have the 6-pack elimination challenge. You've got Bayley, you've got Lacey Evans, you've got Dana Brooke, you've got a returning Tamina. Yeah. Good to see her back.
Yes.
You add in Naomi, and then you add in Sasha Banks. And I don't know about you, I saw that smirk at the end. Sasha, don't you play us.
I saw the cut of the eyes. By the way, girl, that outfit was bomb. You look so good.
She's already discussing it for her next Hall of Fame, and God, take my money. Take it.
Either way, the point of this is she cut her eyes, and she smirked, and she watched her best friend walk up that ramp. So again, with that being said, you brought it up earlier. I'm going to bring it up now. I honestly want Sasha to have her Mania moment. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be sleeping on my girl Naomi, but I want Sasha to have that moment. She is deserving. She left for her sanity. She got better. She came back. If you hadn't seen what I'm talking about, look at her 24 special. You'll find out. She came back. She's done everything she's been asked to do. I don't see why you don't give her her moment. Out of all the horsewomen, the boss deserves it. I'm just saying, Savannah, please just hear me out. Don't come at me now.
Right. And the thing I'm kind of puzzled about, and I'm glad that we have a comment down below that mentioned it. It was Paige that ultimately delivered the news, and they made sure, to fire off their shots about how you can't wrestle anymore and how you don't get to do anything. Obviously, Paige, due to all the travel bans, unable to make it, so she did her live Skype and everything else. But you look at, why Paige is doing it, and, I've been behind Paige. We saw her the night she made her debut right after 30, winning the championship. I've been a big fan of Paige. But also, a lot of people will say that she runs her mouth a little too much. Her boyfriend, runs his mouth a little bit too much, and it's kind of gotten underneath a lot of people's skins. So I'm not really sure why Paige needed to be the one to deliver the news, but I know there's a lot of fans behind her, so I honestly don't really have a problem with it.
I love it. I like it. They're giving her something to do, and as much as I was heartbroken, again, with all the neck injuries from Daniel Bryan to Edge to Stone Cold to Paige, we've seen Daniel Bryan come back. We've seen Stone Cold make a couple of appearances. We've seen, who else?
Edge is back now.
Edge has come back. That right there, if y'all go to the YouTube and you look at the video, This one right here caught me crying. I love Edge.
The tears are real. I had to make sure I got it. So if you want to see her cry, that's where you go. Watch the Edge entrance video.
But the point is, if all of them can come back from neck injuries, so can she. So I feel like at some point, she's going to be sitting here. She's going to be doing the interview. She's going to be, She's going to be making her comments. She's going to be, stating her piece. And people that think she talks smack, whose house was it to begin with?
It was her house.
Yeah.
It's always been her house.
Who better to talk smack to Sasha and Bayley? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of Sasha, and I think Bayley is decent. But who better than to talk smack?
Yeah. So, but finally, I hated that it took until 2 weeks, and obviously it's kind of being done with, without much, gusto and without anything else because, obviously people can't be there. But you look at, the story, they finally get something. And then with the other live match of the night, The Miz and Morrison against Heavy Machinery, you had a chance to not only eliminate Heavy Machinery as potential contenders for the titles, but you may have inadvertently set up potentially a second match that may very quietly make the Mania card. The first thing they announced next week, Alexa Bliss will face Asuka, likely setting up the storyline that they're going to have Asuka and Kairi Sane defend the women's tag titles against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And then you also will next week have, of course, the dream match one more time in the tag team division, the New Day and the Usos getting a match against one another. The winners get Miz and Morrison for the titles. But the story that, I really want to see where this one ends is Otis finally snapping, Dolph finally pushing him too far. You see Otis finally just overcome with emotion, hits folks with chairs, beats the snot out of the tag champs by himself. And you can tell it's leading towards potentially Otis and Dolph at Mania. Mandy, special referee, maybe sits at ringside. How does this go?
I feel like it could go one of two ways. I feel like Mandy could either be a valet to Dolph, and she's sitting outside of the ring, and she's pulling a Selena Vega, trying to help, or she is the ref, and she starts showing bias to Dolph, but then, as the match goes along, she thinks about it, and she's like, oh, what did I give up? What have I done? I'm going to kind of side with Otis. But like you said, he snapped. I feel like Dolph is doing what he feels he needs to do to get under Otis's skin. Now, for me, I feel like, Otis is deserving. I feel like Otis has gone through a lot. I feel like it's always the pretty boy that gets everything. Why not let it be the non-pretty boy? Nothing against you, Otis, but I feel like he deserves his chance. I feel like he can either walk out with Mandy or he can walk out with nothing. I hope he walks out with a girl.
Right. Obviously, of course, you want the Prince Charming storyline. The fat, bigger guy that isn't quite all the way there. Ultimately gets the girl. Hey, I've lived it. Okay, those of you who've looked back at our photos and look back at our videos. Okay, I almost weighed 400 pounds at one point. Still got the beautiful girl here of my dreams. Look at those. Look at the cutting of the eyes. Okay, that's Sasha-esque right there. You see it.
He don't want to sleep on the couch. That's why he's saying all this.
Oh boy, yeah, that couch is not comfy anymore. But I digress. But you wonder if they'll turn that into a story. It won't be one that's going to win the Mania match of the night, but definitely going to be the one that'll pull some heartstrings. I hope they pull the trigger on that. So looking ahead, we're now sitting 2 weeks and a day from WrestleMania. Kind of disappointing. We won't be in Tampa this year. Won't get to do all the entrances, be there, film our post-match in person or post-reaction in person. But we'll still be here, preview and post shows. But you want to make sure that it's still a good show, and I think they're putting together the best card they can. But it's very clear it's not going to be the same.
It's not, and with that being said, Vince is about putting out what he can as the best brand. He's got Triple H, he's got Stephanie. You've got people that are there that are willing to help, camera crew, writers, producers, to make sure you do everything in your power to make it as good as you can, even with nobody in attendance. That's just been a Vince thing. He's not going to let nothing scare him, and I can respect him for that.
Yeah. You don't have to like the man. You don't have to, give any props to anything he does. You can hate every storyline he throws into play. The reality is, he puts on the best show he can, and it doesn't matter what major worldwide event is doing. His job is to put your mind at ease for 2 to 3 hours, and he does a stellar job of it. But we could sit here and, as I said, talk all day, but we do try to let you guys get on to bed. It's been a long week, but we do have a couple other pieces of business here
Yes.
real fast, and then we'll let you roll here.
Okay, Ray Bliss said she is scared Sasha is turning on Bailey. I believe, I can see where you're scared because they've been such a good duo. They're best friends. They've been tag team. Why? I can see why you would be scared, but honestly, I feel like Sasha is deserving. So with that being said, everybody's gonna have a different feeling on it. As you can see, I think Bailey is scared too because they're best friends. She don't want to lose her best friend. But again, when you get in that ring, it's about the title. It's not really about friendships.
And you very quickly saw how Bailey reacted as soon as she figured out Sasha was going to be in the ring. She's like, okay, friendship's over at this point, at least for now until this is over. And if you need proof, go back to the Elimination Chamber match a couple of years ago. Sasha wasting no time kicking Bailey off of one of the pods.
Yep.
You hit the nail on the head. When it's about the title, friendship means nothing for those 20 minutes or so that you're wrestling.
Q the Assassin said he feels like Ziggler is a bully. I do too, but I understand where he's coming from. I feel like he's the pretty boy. He's got the money and the fame and the good looks. I feel like not only does he have that, he wants the girl, so he'll do whatever he has to, and means
he's used to getting the girl.
Exactly. That means if he's got to be the bully to get the girl, so be it. But that's where I stand with that. Don't get me wrong. I love Dolph. I think Dolph is a great wrestler, but I say do what you got to do. But at the same time of me saying that, Otis, I feel like do what you need to do to get your girl back.
Right, and and it's all about just him portraying out the best storyline he can, and I really do think it's going to come to a good conclusion, hopefully in favor of Otis, but also I could very easily
Cross fingers.
I could also see Mandy very well just nipping this in the bud for good, saying, no, Otis, not you, I'm going with Dolph.
Or
a great way to garner some heel heat, potentially lead to Sonya, possibly going her own way. We'll see how it goes.
Here's my thing with that. I feel like she could say no to Otis, and I feel like she could say no to Dolph, and with Sonya being her best friend, I feel like there could be a developing story there. They tried doing the whole lesbian thing. I feel like that's what could happen in my opinion, but that's just me, and everybody's gonna think differently.
Exactly, and we're getting ready to wrap this up here, but by all means, even after the video's over, make sure you comment with us, because anything you guys talk to us about during the interim between videos, we definitely make sure we take your things into account. But anyway, we're at the end of the video here. We wanted to make sure that we held our promise, so you guys have hung with us all the way to the end, and we appreciate it. Again, it's folks like you that make this big. We're 2 episodes in, no signs of stopping now, and now we're getting ready to start getting into real Wrestlemania mode. But as promised, twice in this video, we have a little thing for you guys. As you know, we're just now getting started. We've got a decent amount of followers, but we want to definitely try to build up our brand, but we can't do it alone. We need your help. And you guys all have fans that are fans of WWE. So if you guys like what we're talking about, and you think that, what we have to talk about will lead to fun conversation for, your friends, your followers, everything else, promote us. Again, Kia and Steve, wrestling, underscores under each word. But promote our Instagram. Underneath it, we have our Twitter handle. I'm going to also include my YouTube channel if you guys like watching the entrance videos. I've got them dating all the way back to WrestleMania 27. So we've got them back for quite some time. But something that also you'll see on our Instagram outside of our videos is we do enjoy... Are you okay?
Sorry. Keep going. You don't have to put me on the spot
hey,
like that.
We're live, okay? If it happens, it happens, okay?
You don't have to put me on the spot like that. I'll remember that.
Please, they're not going to comment. Anyway, something that you guys know is we also cosplay. I've done the Fiend a couple of times, and that was extremely popular at Starrcade this past December. Again, was popular at the Elimination Chamber event we were just at. She has been Sister Abigail. She has been Becky Lynch at her last event and got a huge following for her for her Becky Lynch cosplay.
I've been Lacey Evans. I've also been
Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I've been Lacey Evans. I've also been Tamina, which the next video we do, there's a story behind why I was her first.
Right. But what we wanted to go with, of course, with the news that WrestleMania is not going to be in Tampa this year, we had actually already both purchased and set up and got our cosplays together, and I will argue it's our best ones yet up to this point. The Fiend may be pushing it, but I'd argue for you it's your best one.
I would say for me, I feel like it's my best one, but I feel like with us being married and us being a duo and us doing everything else together, I feel like Sister Abigail and the Fiend. I feel like those have been our best one. But I feel like the ones we're going to put out now, but I'm not going to tell you what that is.
What do you guys think? Feel free to go through our feed, leave comments. Which one did you like the best? Because we've got a ton of them on here. And yeah, I'm heading right for the couch as soon as this is over. But something we wanted to present to you guys. Promote our brand. Mm-hmm. We would love more followers. We would love more people to see this. We would love more people to be involved with this, giving their comments. It gives us more to talk about. So here's our proposition to you guys. We wanted to, we have a X number of followers. If we can double the number of followers we have, which is right now about 75 people, if we can double that before WrestleMania, which is 2 weeks from now, we have decided that we will debut our cosplays right here on this show on the night of the first WrestleMania on April 4th.
Exactly.
So we're not going to wait till our next show, which could be months from now, to show it at an event. We will debut it right here, live on the Ring Apron, in front of you guys. But as I said, we're out here promoting ourselves, but we need your help. We need you guys to help us find followers as well. So you guys want to see what we had planned next, and I promise you guys will love it. We've put a lot of hard work into it, and we're really disappointed we can't show it off at Mania, but we can show it to you guys, and it'll be just as much fun. So help us out. If we get to 150 followers before WrestleMania, we'll debut it right here on April 4th. So y'all do your thing, we'll do ours.
Hi, Shadow Attack. I see you. Do us a favor, because I know you're a wrestling fan. Watch on the 4th and the 5th, and then when we do our video, come back. Tell us what you thought, how you felt. What was your favorite section of the night? What you didn't like, what you thought could have happened differently. We want to hear from all of you. We know you all love wrestling as much as we do. Let's do this. 4th and the 5th, let's go.
Absolutely. It's WrestleMania season and nothing's more fun, but we've actually run about 6 minutes over our scheduled time. It's Friday. We've all worked. As we said earlier in the video, stay safe. Follow the mandates that they're giving you guys. Let's get rid of this thing, because the empty arena things are certainly interesting, but at the end of the day, I'm ready to talk more wrestling. I'm ready to talk about the fan interaction. I'm ready to get back in these arenas. I'm ready to cosplay again. And it's tough to do it when you're sitting at your house. So let's get this COVID-19 thing. Let's get it done, so we can get back to enjoying wrestling as fans.
You know what we forgot to talk about, and I am so mad with myself because I love this man. Oh, I love my Irish baby Finn. We forgot to talk about him.
Well,
we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
I promise you, next week.
We will open with Finn Balor, okay?
Man.
That's the thing. When you're limited on your time, and I'm even, like I said, we're stretching it over, but at the same time, we want to, give you guys the best show, but as you can see, there's a lot to talk about, and we just simply don't have enough time. We're still relatively new to this. We're going to get faster as we go, more fan interaction with you guys, but definitely join us again next week. So we're going to wrap this up here. This has been On the Ring Apron with Steve and Kia. Yes. We appreciate the fan interaction you guys gave us, and remember, hey, we double our fan audience within the next 2 weeks. We're debuting our cosplays right here on the show. So everybody, stay safe. Have a good night. We'll see you guys next week.
With that being said, to Shadow Attack, I agree. If we all stay safe and do what we need to do, I would like to have the fans back. I would like to be among the fans. I would like to talk to all of you. I really, really would. So like we said, stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, do what you need to do. Let's get back in these arenas and let's blow it up. What is it?
Probably not safe to say that on live, but either way, you got where she's going. Either way, y'all have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see y'all next week. See you later, guys.
Love you. Bye. The thing at the top.